In the thick, gray mist of dawn in the Donbass region, Russian military convoys slowly rolled down the muddy, shell-strewn roads. On the trucks were thousands of artillery shells, the lifeblood of the battlefield. Their destination, the front lines, where artillery and tanks were desperately thirsty for ammunition, like a drought in the desert. None of the drivers knew that. Within minutes, the entire convoy would become a blazing volcano in the middle of the wasteland, struck by the brutal precision of a single weapon, HIMARS, the high-mobility artillery rocket system of Ukraine, a new symbol of modern technological warfare. A series of flashes lit up the horizon. Then, in an instant, the earth trembled. The sound of explosions ripped through the air. The trucks, dozens of tons of explosives and artillery shells, burst into towering flames reaching hundreds of meters high. The entire Russian supply line was consumed by fire. One missile, just one, destroyed millions of dollars worth of equipment and temporarily halted an entire offensive operation. As the smoke still lingered, Russian generals realized the horror. Their defense system had been pierced by a ghost, a weapon that was hard for radar to detect, moved fast, struck with precision, and then vanished without a trace. Reconnaissance stations urgently set up antennas and launched Orlan-10 drones to search. Beneath the radio waves, HIMARS signal flickered briefly before disappearing. After hours of tracking, a radar station finally pinpointed the coordinates. Russian missiles were ordered to launch immediately, but when the missile hit the ground, the HIMARS position was already empty. In just 90 seconds, this highly mobile system could fire 6 missiles and withdraw dozens of kilometers before enemy radar could react. The arrival of HIMARS on the battlefield rendered Russia's traditional strategies obsolete. In the skies of Ukraine, reconnaissance aircraft, satellites, and radar formed a vast network. Each HIMARS strike relied not just on force, but on the perfect integration of intelligence, technology, and speed. When radar detected a Russian air defense system preparing to fire, HIMARS took the coordinates and launched 2 guided missiles. One destroyed the radar antenna. The second tore apart the launch pad. In under 30 seconds, a system worth millions of dollars turned to dust. From the ground, Ukrainian pilots exclaimed, "The sky is open." HIMARS did not just destroy targets. It cleared the way for air forces, protected ground troops, and changed the entire pace of the war. Since being supplied by the United States, HIMARS has become a symbol of Ukraine's resistance. Its precise strikes have destroyed numerous command centers, ammunition depots, strategic bridges, and railways, lifelines that Russia relied on to sustain its offensive. Western military experts refer to HIMARS as the game changer. On the battlefield, each missile fired carries not just explosives, but a message of technology, strategy, and a new era. Meanwhile, Russia has paid a heavy price. A series of systems worth millions of dollars have been destroyed in mere minutes. A Russian general admitted, "They don't need more firepower, they just need to hit more often." Russia boasts a massive arsenal of rocket artillery, from BM-21 Grad to Smerch. These systems can launch dozens of rockets in seconds, turning an area into a hell of fire. But that is the strength of blindness, indiscriminate firing, with no need for precision, often causing massive casualties on both sides. Grad and Smerch are designed to saturate the enemy with fire, not to hit specific targets. In stark contrast, HIMARS is a weapon of precision. It targets weaknesses and needs only one shot. Estimates suggest that to destroy a target that HIMARS can take out with one missile, Russia would need 20 Smerch rockets. Each HIMARS strike doesn't just cause material damage, it creates a terrifying psychological effect. Russian soldiers live in fear, never knowing when the invisible hand will strike. In desperation, Russia has deployed some of its deadliest weapons, the thermobaric artillery system T-01, capable of burning all the oxygen in the air, causing instant death. Its shockwave can rupture internal organs and crush everything within hundreds of meters. However, its short range makes it an easy target for HIMARS. And as fate would have it, a HIMARS missile hit the T-01, creating the largest explosion ever recorded in the region. A Ukrainian officer recalled, "The ground shook, the air exploded, and all that was left was dust. HIMARS didn't just strike, it delivered judgment." After that event, the phrase, "He who lives by the sword dies by the sword," spread across the front lines, and HIMARS became a symbol of the sword of technology on the traditional battlefield. But war is not just about firepower, it's also a battle of intellect. Ukraine came up with a strategy that amazed the world. They created dozens of fake HIMARS models, made of hollow steel, painted to look identical, emitting heat signatures like the real ones, and moving in the same manner. The result? Russia repeatedly fired real missiles at decoys, wasting millions of dollars with each misguided strike. A $10,000 fake model could cost the enemy $3 million with just one launch. Meanwhile, the real HIMARS remained safe, continuing to hunt down targets. Experts call this the art of 21st century warfare, where intelligence triumphs over brute force. Unwilling to accept defeat, Russia deployed the SS-26 Iskander tactical missile with a range of 300 miles and cluster warheads capable of exploding in the air. Once, an Iskander missile exploded just above a HIMARS position, destroying the system. But the victory was short-lived. Just days later, another HIMARS retaliated, taking out the Iskander launch pad before it could retreat. The weakness of the Iskander was its slow and cumbersome nature. Once detected, it couldn't escape. In contrast, HIMARS, small, nimble, fires and disappears before enemy radar has a chance to react. This was a confrontation between two philosophies of warfare. One side with massive firepower, unleashing a storm of shells to find victory. The other, sleek and precise, relying on technology and intellect. Amid the smoke-filled skies of Donbass, HIMARS remains an elusive ghost. Each time it appears, a thin trail of smoke and the whistling sound slicing through the air signals an impending storm. Russian troops tremble in their bunkers, knowing they could be wiped out without ever hearing a shot fired. Modern warfare is no longer a competition of who fires more. It's about who is smarter, more precise and faster. And in this race, HIMARS has redefined the concept of power on the battlefield. In the smoke and chaos of war, there are explosions that don't just tear apart the air. But divide entire eras. In Donbass, they're not just fighting with ammunition, they're fighting with intellect, technology, and belief. And at the fragile boundary between life and death, HIMARS, the sword of technology, continues to redraw the map of modern warfare.